It's time for The Frangie Show on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Welcome in. Thanks so much for stopping by. Hope you had a happy new year. Hayes Carline here. Frank Frangie on vacation, but he will be back on Monday. But Hacker, kind enough to sit in with us again today. And we've got JJ LaSelva. Happy New Year. How you doing? Did you have a good one?
Good, yeah, it was fun. Got to hang out with the family a little bit. Watched a lot of college football. Watched two blowouts, but luckily last night saved us a little bit. Although I thought the biggest story yesterday was Indiana. I mean, good grief. Look, I get it. Alabama's not what they once were. 38-3. What a statement by Indiana.
Without a doubt. And JJ, I don't have to ask you how your new year was. Congratulations.
Phenomenal, spectacular, fantastic, awesome.
Yeah, what a win.
Dude, when the pick six happened, I was on another planet.
Did you have an out-of-body experience?
Yeah.
That's one of the best plays I've ever seen a defensive
first
back make
of all,
on that
like
play.
that takes a lot of film room study to know what's coming and the setup on offense. And then he just broke right through that half block by Jeremiah Smith and took it to the house. And of course, in Miami fashion, stared down the Ohio State sideline as he did it.
I mean,
I was like going ballistic.
When it's 17-14 with 7 minutes to go, you're thinking, all right,
we lose.
Ohio State's going to get the ball and they're going to score. And for Miami to take 6 minutes off the clock and punch it in, I mean, what a drive by Miami.
A big man drive.
Yeah, absolutely. Impressive stuff. We're going to break down all the quarterfinal action and peek ahead to the semifinals. We'll do that as we move along here in the Frangie Show. But want to start with the Jaguars, and obviously most of the show today will be about the Jaguars. I had a chance to get in the locker room today, so we're going to hear from receiver Jakobi Meyers and left tackle Cole Van Lanen. I was excited to talk to Cole Van Lanen. You know, so how I sort of go about my business is I sort of have to ask the question, like, does the listener want 4 minutes from this athlete? And that's kind of a high bar, I think. So Cole Van Lanen's been here for years, and it just never really was, he just didn't have a role big enough in my judgment. Not people that have talked to him before, that's great. And some people really like those kinds of stories. But for me, he just didn't really have a big enough of a role for me to interview him with other players that obviously have substantial roles. But today, really enjoyed getting a chance to talk with Cole, and what an outstanding year he's having. It's hard to believe he's just under 600 offensive snaps played this year. Ezra Cleveland leads the team with just over 1,000. I think Ezra has 1,007. But Cole Van Lanen has played. I mean, this isn't one or two games now. I mean, he has been out there. If you've played 600 offensive snaps, that's the equivalent of basically 9 full games. So enjoyed that. So looking forward to adding Cole Van Lanen to our players that we enjoy, bringing to you and letting you get to know these great athletes a little bit more. So Jakobi Meyers, Cole Van Lanen coming up. We're gonna go through the other games in the NFL. I want to have you guys pick, even though obviously our contest is on hold until Frank gets back. But just we'll go through the other big games in the NFL: Carolina at Tampa Bay, Seattle at San Fran, Ravens Steelers. That should be a lot of fun. So lots to get to, but let's start with Sunday's game. Again, hopefully people are going. It should be a spectacular afternoon of Jaguars football if they play up to their potential. But certainly we've talked at great length, Hacker, about this game. And as we now move a couple days closer from Wednesday's show, absolutely nothing has changed my thought that there's no reason the Jaguars shouldn't be able to throw it all over the Tennessee Titans. And if the defense even plays average game, the Jaguars should be able to get a comfortable win.
I'm never going to be confused to being sunshine and rainbows guy. In fact, many people have told me through the years that maybe I was too negative at times about the Jaguars. Having said that, they're going to take Tennessee behind the woodshed on Sunday. They're way better than the Titans anyway. And have you seen the Titans injury report, the people that are not playing? Arden Key's not playing. Gunnar Helm's not playing. Jalen Armour-Davis is not playing. Amani Hooker is doubtful. And they're already not very good to begin with. Van Jefferson is also out. So your wide receivers for Tennessee, they're going to start two rookies in Eric Iomanner and Chim Dike. Fine. I can't tell you who their other wide receivers are without Van Jefferson. Now, look, Cam Ward's played well, and Tony Pollard's a 1,000-yard rusher, and Jacksonville still has to take care of business. But I think you could argue, Hayes, that coming into this game on Sunday, the Jacksonville Jaguars may be the healthiest team in the National Football League. Despite Travis Hunter and Jordan Lewis being lost for the year, Patrick McCarry is the only guy that's being ruled out that's done anything this season. Jalen McLeod has been ruled out as well. McCarry, it's the only one. No one else is even questionable. I mean, it is wild how healthy, knock on wood, the Jaguars are heading into Week 18. And I think we're going to be celebrating pretty early at Everbank Stadium on Sunday.
Yeah, I agree. And even with McCarry's injury, with the back injury, well, you've got what appears to be a very suitable replacement in Walker Little. So that doesn't even seem like it's created that big of a void in the lineup. But yeah, to your point, looks like Hainsey should be fine. We'll see. But Monheim did well. So yeah, it's hard to find. And even with Lewis on IR, you've got a really good thing going there at the nickel between Jarian Jones and Antonio Johnson.
What NFL team coming into the final week of the year doesn't have anybody listed as questionable? They don't have anybody I mean, Hainsey's good. He was full participation today. He's good to go. Bashell Tootin. Remember, the thought was Bashell Tootin not until the playoffs. Well, he appears to be back. He does not have an injury designation coming in to this game. And it's almost a good problem to have for the Jaguars is they've had so many guys step up amid the injuries that now they're going to have to figure out who the 46 are, or I guess the 48 are, that are going to dress. They're going to have some tough decisions because so many guys are good to go on Sunday.
Yeah, without a doubt. And as we get closer to it, do you think this I thought was interesting today? Liam met with reporters and talked about the run game. They had 120 yards on the ground against the Colts, so it wasn't like it was bad. But he talked about the running backs maybe didn't see it as well as what was there. So while we've talked at great length about how the Tennessee secondary should be ripe for the picking, again, I hate to keep going back over the number, but it is so eye-popping that I think it bears mentioning. Tennessee against opposing quarterbacks this year, the Titans allow 68.5% completion, 27 passing touchdowns, 6 interceptions, passer rating of 106.8, which would rank 4th if it was applied to a player. They just haven't stopped anybody through the air in a long time, but they have been pretty good against the run. But Liam said that the offensive line actually opened things up against the Colts. There was room to run, and they've got to be a little bit better running between the tackles and finding those spots when he's talking about the running backs. Do you anticipate the Jaguars being able to get the ground game going at a healthy level?
They need to. I mean, they need to work out any kinks they have left heading into the playoffs. So absolutely, I think the running game is going to be a big facet of this game. I think you get out ahead of them early in the first quarter, 2-touchdown lead, and then you really start wearing them down with that running game. You want Tennessee mentally to be thinking about vacation midway through the second quarter. What you don't want to have happen is commit a couple of stupid penalties, dare I say have a turnover or two, and give Tennessee any inkling as a 12.5-point underdog that they could pull off this upset. Come out there in the first quarter, establish yourself with the run, with the pass. As you said, that Titans secondary is very, very thin on paper, and get this thing out of reach. So in the second half, dare I say, we have a Nick Mullins sighting as we're celebrating an AFC South championship.
Absolutely. What kind of crowd do you think they'll have?
I think they're going to have a good crowd. I think, look, if you're a Jaguar fan, and I know a lot of people are going to want to go to the playoff game, obviously. But the playoff game doesn't happen unless you win on Sunday. If there's a world where Tennessee pulls an upset and Houston beats Indy, well, then you're not going to have a home playoff game next week.
And Houston is going to beat
Houston's
Indy.
going to beat Indy. So Jacksonville has to beat Tennessee. I think the crowd's going to be good. And here's the thing, Hayes, you know this, man. The Jaguar fan base has wanted for so long to have a good product out there, to have a fun environment down there at the stadium, to go support. And the organization has delivered. They have a chance to win more games this season than they have since 1999 with a win on Sunday. They have a chance to win their third division championship. Jaguar fans, this is what you have wanted. The organization has delivered, and I hope the fans deliver for the organization and have a really good showing out there on Sunday afternoon.
I think the crowd's going to surprise. I think it's going to. I think people had to get through the new year and things like that. Now we have, and it's Friday, and now I think people kind of wake up and they're like, okay, the new year is behind me, and in 2 days. The Jaguars play a huge game. I'm talking about the casual fan. The diehards have been locked in.
Right.
But for the casual fan that might or might not go, kind of depends on the circumstance, you hope they have that final 24-hour, 48-hour rush, because it really should be. I mean, these guys, they've earned a packed house. I mean, you couldn't have asked for more.
No.
In terms of this, and so I really think it's going to be an amazing crowd. I'm really looking forward to seeing the electricity, and certainly we'll be out there at Tailgaters at 8 a.m. for the kickoff show. So always look forward to seeing fans out there as well. When we come back on the Frangie Show, let's switch gears. Let's get to college football. Lots to sink our teeth into from the quarterfinals. I'm going to ask these guys, if Ole Miss wins the national title, is it Pete Golding's title? Can you give Lane Kiffin any credit for it? How embarrassing is this for Lane Kiffin? And Kirk Cignetti rules the world. Can you put into perspective what we are seeing with the Indiana Hoosiers? Hack alluded to it earlier, and it's an excellent point. Just dominated the Alabama Crimson Tide. Unbelievable stuff. You're listening to 1010XL 92.5 FM.
The Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
How does number 9 feel about number 16?
All right, here we go.
Find out when David Garrard joins Mike and Fat Tony. Mondays from 10 to noon on Jaguars Today. Restored by Resto Pros of Northeast Florida on 1010XL.
What Baltimore Orioles player received a 22-minute standing ovation?
For over 20 years, Southern Oak Insurance has given Floridians a better alternative to their current homeowners policy. See what you can get with Southern Oak. Log on to southernoak.com.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
Cal Ripken holds the record of playing 2,632 consecutive games. On his final game, the Oriole great received a 22-minute standing ovation.
Southern Oak Insurance, our family protecting yours.
It's January in Jacksonville, so you turn on the shower knob expecting hot water. It comes up cold. That's a tough loss to start the day, but Duck Duck Rooter is here to turn things around with the new year, new water heater promotion. Duck Duck Rooter makes replacing that old water heater a winning play. Right now, get a new water heater installed for just $14.99 on select models with standard installation. Call now to schedule your free estimate and take the cold shower off the scoreboard. 904-862-6769 or duckduckrooter.com.
Hey guys, if you messed up by getting her a robot vacuum cleaner for Christmas, Beard's Diamonds can get you out of the doghouse. Now through New Year's weekend, you can still get that stunning piece of jewelry and save up to 44%. Everything's included: rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, bands, all the gifts women love every day of the year. But hurry, this amazingly popular offer ends January 3rd at 5 p.m. and will not be extended. And if you're planning that New Year's weekend proposal, we've got you covered with a great selection of ready-to-wear diamond rings starting as low as $795. It's been a fantastic year at Beards, and we're so grateful for your business and your trust. In a sea of mega corporate chain jewelers, we're honored to be the only one that's locally owned in the town center. We are proud to be a part of this amazing community, and you can count on us again in 2026 to deliver the highest quality jewelry at the guaranteed best value, with the service and attention you can only get from an independent jeweler that's been around nearly 45 years. Happy New Year from Beards Diamonds.
You can't go inside your home team's locker room, so Jags beat reporter Hayes Carline goes there for you.
Work on three, 1, 2, 3, hard.
Hayes Carline here. Find my blog at 1010XL.com.
Brought to you by Roland Reach Plumbing, where quality and experience count.
Hey, Jacksonville DDH. Dreamfinders Danny Hicken here with the scoop from Dreamfinders Homes, your National Builder of the Year. We've got first-year interest rates as low as 2.99% and homes in 20-plus communities throughout Northeast Florida. If you're house hunting, make sure your first pick Dreamfinders Homes, the proud official home builder of the PGA Tour, the Florida Gators, and your Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit dfhsalesevent.com today and tell them Dreamfinders Danny sent you.
At the First Coast YMCA, you'll find much more than just a gym. We offer many ways to help you become more active. reach your weight loss goals, and find your inner strength. Membership at the Y includes state-of-the-art facilities, a huge variety of fitness classes, and programs for all ages. It's easy to join the Y since it's affordable for all incomes. The Y is a great place to make connections and experience something new. Visit the YMCA near you or online at fcymca.org.
I used to dread going to the dentist. Every visit felt like a sales pitch with constant upselling, surprise fees on my bill, and I could never get in when I needed to. But Harbor Dental Care? Totally different. They saw me the next day, gave me honest pricing up front, and even set me up with a payment plan I could actually afford. No pressure, no surprise charges, just kind people who get it. If you want to experience dentistry the way it should be, book your appointment today at harbordental.care. That's HARBOUR dental.care.
Are you looking for a place to outfit your truck or van? It's Catlin Truck Accessories. For 105 years and 4 generations, Catlin is the name you can count on. This is Keith Catlin, and we know trucks and vans too, from Lear toppers, ladder racks, van shelving, strobe lighting, roll and lock bed covers, and everything in between. If you want quality products and great customer service, there's only one name. It's Catlin.
Who can you count on? Count on Catlin.
For 105 years, you can count on Catlin.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah.
It's a Big Chief Tire Friday on The Frangie Show. For all of your tires and automotive service needs, it's Big Chief Tire.
We certainly appreciate our friends at Big Chief Tire. I always think this is High Plains Drifter by the Beastie Boys.
Oh, wow. That
but
is
it's
a
not.
great reference.
It's an Eagles.
Those shoes.
Yeah.
So
but
maybe they stole it from the Eagles.
They did.
Okay.
Yeah. They sampled it on Paul's Boutique in High Plains Drifter,
One
which
of
is
my
a great
favorite albums.
Yeah, it's fantastic. But I never knew that it was an Eagles riff until I heard this. Because the Eagles, I just know kind of the big hits.
This is a great song.
Yeah.
Look
they're
it
both.
up.
Yeah, absolutely.
But they couldn't be more opposite artists. But I love both those songs.
Yeah, I know. It's great. I'm glad. It makes me feel better that you knew what I was talking about. Welcome back to the Frangie Show. Frank on vacation this week. He'll be back on Monday. But we've got Hacker here. That was JJ LaSelva that you're hearing, producing it for us. I'm Hayes Carline. We will have Pete Prisco, by the way, at 5:15 to talk all things Jaguars and NFL. So that'll be a lot of fun. But let's get to this college football playoff, because this thing really hit a pretty crazy gear last night around midnight. Ole Miss 39, Georgia 34. I was stunned that the game played out the way it played out. Georgia was 75-0 when it leading going into the fourth quarter, longest active streak in the country under Kirby Smart, and they couldn't hold the lead. Ole Miss was phenomenal. Georgia gambled on a fourth down. It backfired. They get a sack. But I was stunned that Georgia didn't win the game.
I'm stunned that Ole Miss is playing the way they're playing amid all of the distractions they had after the year. The Lane Kiffin saga played out in front of everybody, Gator fans, college football fans. Well, imagine the players that committed to Lane Kiffin in that Ole Miss locker room. All this stuff is playing out for them in real time. They probably know a lot more of the dirty stuff than we do. And in fact, when Lane Kiffin took the job at LSU, a lot of Ole Miss players came out on social media saying, well, what he's saying isn't exactly the way he told us. What he's saying isn't exactly the way we found out he was leaving. And despite all that distraction, you go out there and you beat Tulane. Okay, fine. You're supposed to do that. But for you to go into the Sugar Bowl and for you to beat Kirby Smart and the Georgia Bulldogs, what a win. Now, for me, I was rooting for Georgia because I wanted to see the Carson Beck situation between Miami and the Dogs. I thought that would be unbelievably juicy. But now you get Ole Miss, and the crazy thing here is, have you seen the reports today that it's 2026? So like Charlie Weiss Jr. and all the Ole Miss guys that were going to LSU, now there is question. LSU was nice for the first two games.
They're not going to let them do it.
Now they're saying, well, wait a minute, guys, it's 2026. You're supposed to be on our coaching staff now. We got some questions as to whether we're going to let you coach in the semifinal against Miami.
And Ole Miss, there's talk of Ole Miss is filing tampering against LSU.
Ooh.
I mean, this thing is getting really, really nasty. And it's striking that Ole Miss is 2 wins away. I don't think they'll get them, but let's just hypothetically, Ole Miss is 2 wins away from the national championship. If they win it, how embarrassing is that for Lane Kiffin? I mean, can you overcome that kind of an embarrassment? And who do you give the credit to for the title? Pete, I guess you'd have to give it to Pete Golding. I guess the only precedent we really have for it is Steve Fisher taking the Michigan Wolverines to the national title, and he basically got the job as interim like right before the tournament started. So that was obviously a long, long time ago, but that's the only one I can think of. But it's just unbelievable storylines, and I think if they win the national title, it's one of the most improbable stories that we've seen. And I just think reflects terribly on Lane Kiffin.
Well, the thing about that is I agree with you. I mean, Lane Kiffin assembled this roster. This roster wasn't assembled by Pete Golding. It was assembled by Kiffin. So he can take a victory lap there. What looks bad is Kiffin basically insinuating that he can't win a title at Ole Miss, so he jumps ship to LSU. Well, what if they ultimately do win the national championship? So then obviously it was about money and about prestige. So it's going to be a bad look for Lane Kiffin. But he took a victory lap on social media last night. I think he put the Mississippi State flag on Twitter. You know, I don't know if they really appreciate that now that he's the coach of LSU.
And apparently LSU had to pay him a $500,000 bonus. They didn't have to, but I think they agreed in hiring him that they would pay whatever bonus he would have gotten for Ole Miss to advance, even though he wasn't coaching them. And so by winning last night, LSU had to pay Kiffin an additional $500,000.
And this sounds ridiculous, but I'll throw it at you anyway. I got a Georgia buddy or two that I was texting with this morning, and they're fuming about, you know, the way the game went down and whatnot. Kirby Smart can walk on water in Athens. This is 2 years in a row that you can really question some of the stuff they did in the playoff. Last year against Notre Dame, ironically enough, in that same building, and then last night against Ole Miss. Look, I'm not saying Kirby's in any trouble or anything, but what do they say in Batman? You either die the hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain. I'm not saying Kirby Smart's a villain yet, but those last 2 playoff games, last year and this year, Georgia fans have some real questions about the way the game was coached.
I was shocked honestly shocked that they lost the game. I mean, I get they played before and Ole Miss had a lead and Georgia had to rally back to win the game. So I understand they played once before and it was a relatively close game. But with all the distractions that Ole Miss is facing with having staff that is torn between 2 jobs, and for Georgia to give up 39 points, blow a halftime lead, blow a fourth quarter lead, I was stunned by that. And you can make an argument that that's not even the biggest story of the playoff, because hacker Kirk Cignetti and the Indiana Hoosiers, not only are they not going away, they are bludgeoning teams. Alabama is 2 years removed from being the greatest dynasty that we have seen in 40 years in college sports. And yes, Saban retired and it's new coach in Kalen DeBoer, but that game wasn't even close. The score, 38-3, absolutely. Look at the box score of that game. Indiana mauled them in every facet of that game. It's stunning. I called him a poser. I called him a fraud. It's Kirk Cignetti. When he made the comments about SEC scheduling in August, I was like, look, just because this guy had one good year and came out of the blue, it doesn't mean that he's going to do anything, moving forward. He's not only the greatest coach in college football right now, he might be the greatest coach in sports. I mean, if Kirk Cignetti wanted to be the president of I would, knowing nothing about his policies, I think he would do a good job. If Kirk Cignetti wanted to fly an airplane, I would get on the airplane. And I have no idea if Kirk Cignetti has even taken one flying class. But it just seems like this is somebody at 64 years old. How did it take so long? How was Kirk Cignetti coaching Elon when Stranger Things season 1 premiered?
Yeah.
How is this happened? It's unbelievable.
He's got some swag to him, too. Did you see the video of him with Pat McAfee? He gives McAfee the little, what's up, coming out of the tunnel.
And he was wearing a quarter zip with nothing underneath.
Great. It was great. Look,
swag.
That Alabama team, went into Norman and beat Oklahoma. That Alabama team beat Georgia this year. Obviously, we talk about Florida State. That Florida State game was months and months and months ago. This was a much different, much better Alabama team. They were as healthy as they had been all year. Unbelievable confidence after coming back to beat Oklahoma in Norman. And to go out there and just get boat raced. I mean, just get obliterated by Indiana. Fowler and Herbstreit said it best. It was embarrassing.
Yeah.
I mean, they got embarrassed in the Rose Bowl. Indiana's for real. And I got to tell you, this Mendoza and that offensive line, you look at these guys and you're thinking, no way. But they just ball out, man, every single time. They're 14-0. They could become the first college football program ever to go 16-0 and win the national championship. And I got to say, right now, who's going to pick against them after what we saw yesterday?
I don't know how you could. I've picked against Indiana every time I've been asked about them this year. Every time. I'll take the other team because I just felt like this was pixie dust. It will eventually wear off, and they will come back to being what Indiana has typically been in football, which is no good at all. It is the most remarkable thing that I've seen in college football, what Kirk Cignetti has been able to get accomplished at Indiana. And, yeah, I'm going to pick them to beat Oregon. They may not. But
it is hard to beat a team twice.
It is. But they beat them in Eugene, and it's
they look pretty convincing when they did. I mean, the score was closer than the actual game was.
And they're just killing teams. So anyway, it'll be a lot of fun to see where it goes from here. But I'll say this, like the NFL head coaching carousel is getting ready to rev up. If I was
the Giants,
the Maras, I would call Kirk Cignetti and say, we have Jackson Dart, we have Malik Neighbors, and here's a blank check.
Yeah.
And you fill in the amount for what it's going to take for you to be the head coach of the New York Giants. I mean, I just don't know how anybody that has a football opening, I would hire him. If the Cons need a new Fulham coach, I would hire Kirk Cignetti. I mean, I've completely 180. And I apologize to Kirk Cignetti, and I apologize to his family, and I apologize to his future family. Anybody that has any Cignetti that is out there, I apologize. Because I thought that this was a total bogus one-year blip, and he is going to take over college football. He might produce an undefeated season at Indiana with a elongated year. My team, who has won 3 national titles, has never gone undefeated in a season. And he is going to do it at Indiana.
He's 25-2 in 27 games at Indiana. And he said, look, at his introductory press conference, Google me. Well, you don't have to Google him anymore because everybody knows who Kurt Cignetti is. The one thing about the college football playoff, they officially do have a problem now. We thought about it last year and this past Friday, I guess, I don't know what day it is. This past Wednesday and Thursday just cemented the problem to me. The teams that get buys are at a complete disadvantage. They're 1-7 in 8 games. The teams with buys coming out of the bye in 2 years. I don't know what can be done about that. If they go to 16, maybe nothing. Maybe the buys will go away.
Yeah.
But there's no way you can say that's a coincidence now that in 2 years, the 8 teams that have gotten the bye week have lost 7 of those 8 games. Of course, the only exception is Cignetti because he's taken over the planet. Everybody else that had a bye has lost in the first 2 years of this playoff.
It really is. It is stunning. I would imagine in a 16-team format, one's playing 16, and so the buys will go away.
Would be my guess, too. I don't know how else you would do it.
I mean, I guess they could try to, I don't know, have like the first 8. I don't know how they would do it either. But, yeah, it seems like that might get ironed out. But, yeah, it's definitely a trend that you can't ignore. It is amazing. Let's keep on this because I certainly want to get in detail about Miami's big win over Ohio State, 24-14 Canes as well. Also, the portal is opened, and Florida State has done some interesting things, gotten a couple big-time players back. So let's stay on college football. We'll do that coming up next. You're listening to The Frangie Show on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Streaming live from the XL Digital Studios. Polished by Harbor Dental Care, the locally owned smile restoration experts.
Frank Frangie here. Nimnick Chevrolet is proud to be a 7-time Chevrolet Dealer of the Year recipient, the only dealership in Northeast Florida to ever win this prestigious award, earned by treating customers with courtesy, respect, and fairness. All part of Nimnick's Treating You Right guarantee. Visit nimnickchevy.com to learn more. For 3 generations, Nimnick has been the place customers keep coming back to. They treat you right. Where do you go? The answer is simple. Nobody but Nimnick. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
Flame Broiler, the Rice Bowl King, is turning up the flavor with new char wings. These wings are charbroiled, never fried, grilled to perfection for a big taste without the grease. Grab them as a 3-piece or 10-piece side, or make it a meal with a 6 or 8-piece combo, served with rice and a drink. Order pickup or delivery today from any of Flame Broiler's 5 Jacksonville locations, or call 904-619-2786. Flame Broiler. Bold flavor done right.
Pre-Game Friday, built by Dreamfinders Homes on 1010XL.
Are you ready to reclaim your backyard? Serving Northeast Florida since 1977, Surfside Pools is the trusted name for expert pool design. Family owned and operated, they offer pool service, equipment repairs, commercial maintenance, remodels, and new pool construction. Let Surfside Pools transform your backyard into the oasis that you crave. Are you ready to float happy? Visit surfsidepools.net or call 246-2666. Surfside Pools and Spas, where luxury meets leisure.
License number CPC 044080.
Bueller.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Hey, pal, is that a turtleneck? Can't you feel it, Jason? There's a chill in the air, a definite nip. I mean, it is January. In Jacksonville, Jason. I didn't come here for cold. Well, I wouldn't call this. Cold weather gives me the sniffles. Sniffles turns to pneumonia. Suddenly, I'm in a hospital bed with a tube down my throat because Florida didn't get the memo about ignoring winter. So, switch over to heat. What if my system can't remember how to heat? Dude, put on these sunglasses. Whoa. Bueller Air and Plumbing can make sure your system is ready to switch from cooling to heat. We'll clean your heating coil to get rid of that burning dust smell and make sure you have the coolant pressure to keep your heat pump pumping out the heat. I had no idea these sunglasses worked in the winter.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Frank Frangie for Coil Fencing. Jacksonville is full of memorable sports moments. Remember when the Jaguars upset the Denver Broncos in the 1996 divisional round as a 14-point underdog and launched them into the AFC Championship? Well, you know who won't upset you? The team at Coil Fencing. Coil is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau and has been serving the Jacksonville community for nearly 100 years. From sleek aluminum fencing your HOA will love to tough chain link for your commercial project, Coil does it all. Visit CoilJacks.com. That's COILE Jacks.com. Coil Fencing, partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
It's the Jaguars' final home game of the 2025 regular season, and you don't want to miss it. Join us for our fan appreciation game as the Jaguars face off against the Tennessee Titans in a can't-miss division matchup. It's your chance to cheer on the team as they take the field in their Prowler throwbacks for one last time this season. Secure your seats now and be a part of the action. Go to jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch.
It's a Big Chief Tire Friday on The Frangie Show. For all of your tires and automotive service needs, it's Big Chief Tire.
Welcome back to The Frangie Show. Frank on vacation. He will be back on Monday, but JJ LaSelva is here. Hacker sitting in for Frank this week, and we certainly appreciate his efforts. So let's talk about the U. What an unbelievable win for Miami. Biggest win in 20-something years. Unbelievable performance, and really did what we kind of thought they might, which was dominate Ohio State in the trenches.
Yeah, and look, I'll give you credit because you said Miami, is going to take them behind the woodshed. And while they didn't necessarily do that, they were clearly the better team. The one thing I will say is I thought the game played out kind of the way I thought. Miami jumped on them early because Ohio State had the bye, because we talk about how dreadful the bye is. It looked like Ohio State found themselves in the third quarter, and particularly when it was 17-14, as we talked about earlier, you're thinking, all right, they're going to get a 3-and-out, or they're going to make Miami punt at some point. They're going to get the ball. They're going to drive down and win the game. And for Miami to take that thing over and go 6-7 minutes, converting third down after third down, and to punch it in to end the game with a minute to go, what a demoralizing, season-killing drive the Hurricanes put on Ohio State. JJ, I'm not a Hurricanes fan, so I didn't have a dog in the fight, but I can only imagine you're watching that drive where they are just demoralizing Ohio State down the field. You must have had a grin ear to ear.
Oh, I was shocked that it happened. I thought for sure, okay, maybe they'll take a minute or two off and have to punt it back, and then we'll have to rely on our defense yet again. But it was just a big, dominant drive, and that's exactly what Mario has been wanting to build in this program, is just a great offensive line, be able to just run the ball whenever you need to in that 4-minute offense, run the clock off, and it was amazing. I'll say one thing about that drive that was just awesome. If you don't watch the Canes, you don't know this, but the guy that took over for Fletcher towards the end of the drive, Shamar Brown, he basically hadn't played important minutes, getting important carries in months. He's been demoted to the third string running back. All of a sudden they throw him in the most important drive of the game. He gets some huge carries. He had a wheel route on third down where he caught the ball for the first down. It was amazing to see random guys step up and win a game like that. Another shout out to Carson Beck. They're obviously not relying on Beck to win them any games at this point, but he's not losing it. And on third downs, he was so clutch. It seemed like he must have had 7 third down conversions, even with his legs late in the game. It was great to see Carson Beck finally have a really good moment towards the end right there.
And Bain and Mesidor are just unblockable.
Guys.
I mean, they're just unblockable. I mean, that's why, I think Miami is absolutely going to beat Ole Miss. Now, some of
they're certainly favored too.
The Rebels are dealing with, they don't know who's going to be coaching the offense for this week. And so obviously they have some staffing issues because of Kiffin leaving for LSU that's now really coming home to roost in terms of the logistical nightmare that it is presented. But even if that wasn't the case, if everything was harmonious and, LSU was willing to let the Kiffin assistants work another week, I don't think it'll matter. I don't think Ole Miss has any chance of blocking Miami.
What did we talk about, though, on Wednesday? What does Mario Cristobal do? Mario Cristobal gets his team up for big games where they're the underdog and nobody believes in them, and that's exactly what happened. No, I'm not saying they're not going to get up for a national semifinal.
This is a big game.
It's a big game. But there's no doubt that pretty much everybody in America will pick Miami to win this game. In Mario's MO, both at Oregon and at Miami in the past, these are the type of games Miami loses. And I think Miami's probably going to win too. So I don't want to sit here and holier than thou that I'm picking Ole Miss, because I'm not. But I also thought Georgia was going to beat Ole Miss. I didn't have a doubt in my mind that Georgia was going to beat Ole Miss. So I'm not going to disregard Ole Miss yet because of what they did last night.
I actually think Chambliss and Ole Miss match up worse than Georgia would against as a Miami fan. I thought Georgia's offense has looked kind of pedestrian all year. I'm not a Gunnar Stockton believer. I thought Miami's defensive line, what you just said, would destroy Gunnar Stockton in Georgia. I mean,
Chambliss
might be the best quarterback left in this thing. And so if he has a game like he did last night, I mean, they're still going to score. They're going to score. I felt like if Miami played Georgia, Miami might hold Georgia to under 14 points. Now, I think for sure Ole Miss is going to be able to score, but they don't have the defense that Georgia did, and I think Miami is going to be able to go score for score with them. I'm really intrigued. Just the Chambliss factor alone makes this matchup really, really juicy.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, I can't wait to watch the game, but I think Miami gets it done and plays for the national title, and I would say plays against Indiana. I mean, Oregon obviously made
That
short
game.
work.
I mean, Texas Tech embarrassed
23-0. Yeah, I mean,
that
Texas
offense.
Tech, that was grotesque.
If I'm the Texas Tech defense, can you imagine that plane ride home? Because the defense didn't play half
Sure,
bad.
First half, it was like
They could have given up 40.
Right. The quarterback did nothing.
Right.
Absolutely nothing.
Yeah, it was bad. So, I mean, we'll see. But Miami now just one win away from playing for the whole thing. Just an amazing story for the Hurricanes.
Which, if you would have told me that after the SMU game,
Yeah.
nobody would have believed you.
Yeah.
Man. Like, I thought Miami, after the SMU game, I thought they would lose at least another regular season game. And for them to go on that run, it's been so fun.
Is Indiana-Miami the game college football fans want the most of the potential matchups?
It's a great question.
I think people want to see Ole Miss.
That's interesting, too.
Yeah.
Indiana-Ole Miss would be interesting.
I think Indiana-Ole Miss would be like the ultimate, because whoever wins the game, it's a movie. I mean, so I would say
neither team's ever won.
Yeah, I would say probably Indiana-Ole Miss would be the ultimate in terms of storylines, but I don't think they can go wrong. I mean, look, Oregon's been, at the precipice before of finally becoming, a first-time national champion in football. This, would be an unbelievable story for Oregon, and obviously Miami to, for the Canes to come back and win. This would be number 6. Yeah, I mean, so I don't think you could go wrong either way, but I would imagine Indiana-Ole Miss would be the juiciest in terms of storylines. Let's talk about Florida and Florida State real quick. So the portal is open. It opened today. The portal is open for the next 2 weeks. Florida's got a pretty good amount of players coming in to visit. 2 of those, Georgia Tech quarterback Aaron Philo, Georgia Tech receiver Bailey Stockton. What do you think is the priority for, first off, do you like that connection for Florida? And in your opinion, Hacker, what are some things John Summerall has to get accomplished in this portal season?
Well, first things first, you got to get a quarterback. So Aaron Philo. And people say, well, who's Aaron Philo? Well, Aaron Philo is the guy in the state of Georgia that broke all of Trevor Lawrence's high school records. Now, he went to Georgia Tech and had to patiently wait behind Haynes King. So it's a double whammy for Georgia Tech, because Philo was supposed to be the guy. Summerall comes and takes Buster Faulkner, and now Philo enters the portal, so everybody thinks Philo is coming to Gainesville. I think at this point it would be a pretty big surprise if he didn't. Bailey Stockton, you and I were talking during the break there, and I thought you brought up a great point. He was kind of the possession guy for Georgia Tech this year. He had 21 grabs, like 230 yards. That's what you need, because you're going to have Vernell Brown.
Right.
You're going to have Dallas Wilson. You give me a guy, then give me 5 yards on 3rd and 4, sign me up, which that's the kind of guy that Bailey Stockton is. But almost as important as Aaron Philo or whatever quarterback Florida brings in is we got to get some clarity on Jaden Ball. And I guess the good news is the portal has been open for, let me do my Wolfson math on this, Hayes, 16 hours and 42 minutes. And Jaden Ball has not entered the portal yet, which is probably a good sign moving forward.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And then Florida State got some good news. I mean, again, Florida State was going to get good news. They have the revenue sharing. They've got probably $16 million to spend on their football team just with the revenue sharing before you get to any NIL money. But nonetheless, good news for the Seminoles. Receiver Deuce Robinson returning. I thought, he at times was uncoverable this season because his catch radius is just, enormous. And they get the talented corner, Jabril Rawls back. So some good news there for Florida State. And they've also announced a new front office. John Garrett is the new GM there. I still really am fascinated to see what exactly becomes of Florida State football this coming season. But the Noles can at least feel good about getting a couple of their key pieces back.
I was surprised Deuce Robinson's coming back, because that's a really good get for them. Now, they have a similar problem as to Florida. They might need to find a quarterback. I mean, I would think that would take priority, because Deuce Robinson's only as good as the quarterback throwing him the football. But again, I got Florida State buddies. I know you do as well. It's just interesting talking to them, because I brought up Deuce Robinson earlier today, and they said, yeah, that's great, but Mike Norvell's still the coach. And I get it. I mean, that's going to be the narrative unless Mike Norvell turns it around in 2026. It's going to be hard for Florida State fans to get behind a program when so many of them wanted the coach fired after last season.
Yeah, without a doubt. Great points. When we come back on the Frangie Show, let's get it back to the Jaguars. Let's go inside the locker room. You'll hear from receiver Jacoby Myers and left tackle Cole Van Lannon. We will do that next. You are listening to 1010XL 92.5 FM.
The Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
The great thing about live sports, you never know what's going to happen.
Oh, how did he pull that off?
Get the most live play-by-play on 1010XL.
Frank Frangie here. These days, it's hard to know which companies to trust. But when it comes to banking, I trust South State Bank. South State truly values its customers, and they work hard to create meaningful, lasting relationships. I love going into my local branch. I see the same smiling faces I've seen for years. South State is the largest bank headquartered in Florida, so they're able to offer all the banking services you need. You can trust South State Bank. Banking forward. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
For over 55 years, Green Acres Sporting Goods has proudly served Jacksonville from the corner of Normandy and Hammond Boulevard. From archery to hunting and fishing, they've got the gear, service, and know-how to get you outdoor ready. Stop by their full-service archery pro shop and check out their wide selection of firearms. And while you're there, sign up for their weekly concealed weapon classes. You can find it all at greenacresporting.com.
Frank Frangie here, and Big Chief Tire makes it easier than ever to get the tires you need with the Big Chief credit card. No annual fee, low monthly payments, and great promotional financing. Plus, you get free flat repairs and rotations, and right now, $50 off your first purchase when you sign up. I love how simple they make everything. Visit WeKeepJacksRollin.com to apply for the credit card and get the tires you need today. That's Big Chief Tire.
Share your voice anytime on the 1010XL text line.
Are you serious? Installed by Lifetime Flooring.
I gotta say, you're totally blowing my mind right now.
If you can't call or email, text us. 641-1010.
With Lee and Kate's Glass, you're gonna see a big difference.
Frank Frangie for Lee and Kate's Glass, still family owned and in business for 100 years. When they say you're going to see a big difference, that's for everything. Custom showers and spas, tabletops, mirrors, even replacing foggy windows, all at a more affordable price. And with your satisfaction absolutely guaranteed, Lee and Kate's Glass is your best choice. Visit leeandkatesglass.com.
With Lee and Kate's Glass, you're gonna see a big difference.
Julington Creek Pest Control has been serving our community since 1984. Our turf management program is an all-out blitz, granular fertilization, weed and insect control, keeping your lawn championship green all year. Quarterly pest control stops bugs before they ever cross your goal line. Family owned, locally operated, expert technicians, top quality products, no gimmicks, just winning results. Julington Creek Pest Control, our family serving yours since 1984.
If you need a holiday gift idea, let Kuhn Flowers handle it for you. This is Frank Frangie with 1010XL. Simply go online to kuhnflowers.com and look at the wide variety of floral and plant arrangements that will make someone's day this holiday season.
I know it's football season, but I know you love basketball too. And youth sports are always in season at the First Coast YMCA. Registration is now open for winter basketball at the Y. Today, more than ever, our kids need to experience the joy of being a kid while also learning the importance of teamwork, respect, and healthy living. At the Y, we're providing a safe, clean, fun environment with an exciting youth basketball league. Learn more at fcymca.org.
1010XL, presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch.
It's a Big Chief Tire Friday on The Frangie Show. For all of your tires and automotive service needs, it's Big Chief Tire.
Welcome back to the Frangie Show. Frank on vacation this week, but he'll be back on Monday. I'm Hayes Carline alongside Hacker and JJ LaSelva. Let's go inside the Jaguar locker room. Hacker, let's start with receiver Jacoby Myers. Obviously, he's been phenomenal. What do you think? Greatest midseason trade of all time in franchise history?
The only other guy in the conversation was Marcel Darius in 2017, but defensive tackle is not exactly a glamorous position. So, yeah, I would say Jacoby Myers has had the biggest impact of any in-season trade the Jacksonville Jaguars have made in franchise history.
I think especially when you consider what it's brought out in Trevor Lawrence. Liam was asked about that today, if how much of a correlation there is between Myers' arrival and Trevor's elevation in play. And he was like, I think it's one of many factors. But, you know, again, Darius was a great trade, but he didn't necessarily he helped them stop the run, but he didn't help the, franchise quarterback at the time. So, I mean, the fact that Jacoby Myers has been a part of Trevor Lawrence really starting to find his form as an elite player, I think it's hands down Jacoby Myers, and I commend James Gladstone for pulling it off. It's pretty impressive. Your first year as general manager, and you pull off the greatest, most impactful midseason trade in franchise history. But I think he's done it. Jacoby Myers playing at a high level in really every facet of the game, including his blocking. Had a chance to catch up with him earlier today, and hope you enjoy the interview.
Now, Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors takes you in the locker room.
We're pleased to be joined with Jaguars receiver Jacoby Myers here on 1010XL 92.5 FM. Man, it's great to see you. How you doing? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year's to you, too. It's good to see you, too.
Everything good this week in practice?
Yeah, everything was smooth. We got to finish strong, get this dub, and then go to the playoffs.
What are some things you can take out of the first meeting with the Titans, Jacoby?
Just don't beat yourself, right? Like Bill Belichick used to say, you can't win until you stop from losing, so just not making simple mistakes, handling our responsibility, and then let the chips fall where they fall.
You guys have done a great job with that. Have you been pleased with the overall cleanness of the operation since you arrived?
I mean, yes and no. We got good days and we had bad days, for sure.
In terms of the Tennessee secondary, they've obviously had a lot of attrition there. Is it difficult to get a vibe for their talent when they've had so much shuffling back there, or do you have a pretty good feel for it?
I mean, we understand their scheme for the most part. It's just putting a different body there. And at the end of the day, we got to do what we got to do, right? Like, we got to make sure we don't beat ourselves, and then we'll handle the rest of that on the field.
Your blocking has gotten a lot of praise from coaches and your teammates. Jacoby, how much pride do you take in that element of your game?
A lot of it, honestly. Blocking in thirds down is probably the biggest thing to me, so a lot.
What stands out about, your technique and blocking? What element of that part of your game are you most happy with?
You just got to will it through, you know what I'm saying, get the job done by any means. So that's my kind of concept as far as taking on that challenge. But, yeah, it's nothing special, just really trying to get it done for my brothers, for real.
What stood out about your chemistry with Trevor over these last couple months?
I just get to the spot he need me to. You know what I mean? Like, he know what he doing. He a pro. A talented pro at that, so I'm just trying to get to a safe spot for him.
That was an amazing catch and throw on the 3rd and 10 to get it to a manageable 4th down. When that ball was released, what was it like? Kind of walk us through that play if you can.
And that was really all him. Like I said, I just had to get to the spot. The ball was perfectly thrown, literally. Like, he just laid it up out there for me, and he threw it early enough for me to go chase it down. So he did a good job.
Jacoby, what kind of growth have you seen from Parker Washington as a young player?
I wasn't here before. Since I got here, I've been seeing nothing but, true playmaking. So, I mean, I couldn't tell you before that, but I seen nothing but a true playmaker, somebody who worked hard in practice and then go out there and earn his keep. So,
what has stood out to you just about this group? I mean, since you showed up, obviously there was the loss in Houston, but then you guys have been on this amazing run, and it seems like there's just an incredible closeness with you guys.
I mean, everybody trying to do their part. Everybody wants to contribute. If they're not contributing that week, they want to do their best in practice to show that they can contribute the next week. So I can respect that. A lot of talented competitors on this team who all just want to make sure this ship go in the right direction.
How pleased are you with the offensive line? There's been some changes there, some attrition, but these guys get the job done every week, it seems like.
They got my respect for sure. It don't matter who or where they line up. They all go out there and try to get it done. They tough. They just keep doing their thing, man. Respect to them.
What's it going to mean to you if you get the win Sunday to be division champion and know you have at least one home playoff game?
I mean, for this week, everything. You know what I mean? Like, that's the biggest goal of the week, right? So that's all we really want. We're going to go out there and do our best to go get that.
Jacoby Myers, thanks so much for your time. Best of luck to you.
Appreciate you.
3rd down and blocking, and Jacoby Myers has certainly brought both of those elements to this Jaguar offense. 37 catches for 439 yards and 3 touchdowns since his arrival. It is really been stunning to see the impact that he has made.
I mean, if you want to talk about the perfect fit for Liam Cohen's offense, it appears to be Jacoby Myers, because it's not a coincidence when he arrived that the offense began to flourish, and it has been great to see. And you talk about what he's done for Trevor Lawrence, and you're right, but what he's done for Parker Washington, what he's done for Brenton Strange, what he's done for the other guys in that passing game. And that's why, to me, Hayes, we keep waiting. What if Brian Thomas Jr. emerges? We've seen glimpses of it. I think BTJ is going to have a huge game on Sunday, which will give that passing game even more confidence going into the playoffs.
Absolutely. And I really liked what Jacoby said about the offensive line, which leads us to our next interview. Cole Van Lanen, he might be the greatest singular story in terms of sort of rags to riches of anybody on this roster. Parker Washington's been incredible, no doubt about it. But I'm not sure, like, we kind of thought Parker Washington was safe to make the team. I mean, and they complimented him throughout OTAs and in training camp, and we saw him, doing good things in practice. Cole Van Lanen had a good reputation, but it hadn't really been asked to do much here. And you didn't really know, like, is Cole Van Lanen going to make the team? Is he going to be part of this thing? And then obviously, early on, you could see his versatility and how valuable that was going to make him. But being versatile and being a guy that can slide in every so often and play, here and there to spell an injured player is one thing. He has taken the left tackle job here and done a great job with it. It's remarkable.
Not only has he taken the left tackle job, I mean, if I had my way, he'd be the starting left tackle opening day 2026. I think I've seen enough to say, all right, that's my left tackle moving forward. Now, obviously, there's going to be some contract situations there, and Cole Van Lanen is going to get paid this offseason. But that one stretch, the versatility where he was right tackle one week, right guard the next week, left guard, left tackle, it's been unbelievable watching him. And like you said, he's taken that left tackle job, and I think it's going to be permanent.
Yeah, I agree. It was fun catching up with Cole Van Lanen earlier today, and here's that interview.
Now, Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors takes you in the locker room.
We're pleased to be joined with Jaguars left tackle Cole Van Lanen here on 1010XL 92.5 FM. Man, it's great to see you. How you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
Doing great. What a incredible story. Cole, how do you feel like you're playing right now?
That's a tough question to answer. I just feel like the more I've been playing, the better I can get a better understanding of what I'm doing. And I think every week I can excel and learn more and just constantly trying to better myself every week. So that's kind of the role I've been playing and continue just trying to excel on the field.
Cole, how were you able to pick up everything so quickly in the multiple positions, playing those at a high level?
Yeah, I feel like at the end of the day, no matter what position I'm playing, at the end of the day, you're playing football. The technique's a little different, and the way things are a little different inside and out, but concepts and everything kind of stay the same. So I really just go out there and kind of mimic my game, and you tweak some things, but ultimately, like I said, you're playing football, and I just try and do that at the highest level I can.
You look at Tennessee, obviously, Simmons, the run defense has been, stepping it up the last 6 weeks or so. What stands out when you watch the Titans front?
Yeah, I think it's pretty obvious their interior is a good front to go against, especially in the run game, and they're explosive. So, we got to come in there and play really tough football, and we know that. We know how physical this game's going to be, and we just got to come out there and play our football.
What are some things you can take out of the first meeting? A comfortable win, but, yardage like 287, I think somewhere in there. Were there things that you can take from that first meeting and apply to this one?
Yeah, I just think that was as every week, but that was in the stretch where we really we're shooting ourselves in the foot, and we know it's just the next game mentality, and we really need to play our brand of football and not hurt ourselves. And if we can just be able to play our football, we should be fine on Sunday.
You guys ran for 120 yards against the Colts, and Liam was telling us that, there was probably more out there to be had if the right holes were picked, but he was really happy with the spacing that you guys produced. How was it going back and watching the performance against the Colts for the offensive line?
Definitely a lot to clean up. Like I said, every week there's a lot of things where I feel like we got in our own way a little bit. But ultimately, like I said, I think coming out being physical, eliminating those mistakes, especially on the O-line, is huge and critical for our team. And we got to go out there and play confident and play our brand of football as the O-line.
How much fun have you had this season? Now you've played almost 600 offensive snaps, and not only that, but you've established yourself as one of the key players on the team.
It's been great, and I've been having a blast being able to contribute to this team and ultimately help this team win football games, and that's what it's all about. And I've just been having a blast doing it, and I'm excited to continue to do that and see where this goes.
Why do you think you've been able to get in sync with what Liam and his offensive staff want?
I just think it's overall a great fit for a lot of us, the guys that are here. And Ultimately, like I said, we really pride ourselves in playing tough, and that's something I've always was proudful of what I do, is to play tough football, and we just go out there and do our thing. I think it's an awesome group that we have in the offensive line room, and we really go out there as a group and try and be the most physical we can. And I think the camaraderie we have is just a really special group we have here.
Well, what have you seen out of Trevor these last 4 or 5 weeks?
Trevor's been balling. He's been, I mean, what everyone's seeing, he's been ripping the football, and it's been just absolute blast blocking for him and seeing the things he's doing. And we just got to continue blocking and protecting him and letting him do his thing.
How much are you looking forward to seeing what the fans can provide energy-wise on Sunday?
I'm excited. Getting the bank rocking is always a blast, and hopefully we have more games than just this Sunday here.
Cole, thanks so much for your time. Great talking with you.
You too. Thanks.
Yeah, appreciate Cole Van Lanen, and again, just an incredible story. And now he is somebody that absolutely is at the forefront of this franchise's plan moving forward. So incredible credit to him and resilience to Cole Van Lanen for staying the course and developing and blossoming into what he's become. So fun catching up with him. When we come back on the Frangie Show, we're going to cut to the chase. Can the Jaguars make the Super Bowl? You're listening to 1010XL 92.5 FM.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show. From the Harrell and Harrell studio, don't settle for less than you deserve.
Ladies and gentlemen, the weekend. That's why we give you Pre-Game Friday. Get the news, notes, and inside stuff you need to get ready for game day.
You like that?
Built by Dreamfinders Homes on 1010XL.
Hey guys, if you messed up by getting her a robot vacuum cleaner for Christmas, Beard's Diamonds can get you out of the doghouse. Now through New Year's weekend, you can still get that stunning piece of jewelry and save up to 44%. Everything's included: rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, bands, all the gifts women love every day of the year. But hurry, this amazingly popular offer ends January 3rd at 5 p.m. and will not be extended. And if you're planning that New Year's weekend proposal, we've got you covered with a great selection of ready-to-wear diamond rings starting as low as $795. It's been a fantastic year at Beard's, and we're so grateful for your business and your trust. In a sea of mega corporate chain jewelers, we're honored to be the only one that's locally owned in the town center. We are proud to be a part of this amazing community, and you can count on us again in 2026 to deliver the highest quality jewelry at the guaranteed best value, with the service and attention you can only get from an independent jeweler that's been around nearly 45 years. Happy New Year from Beard's Diamonds.
Happy holidays, Googans. Santa Dan here. It's the holiday season, and that means hopefully more off time with the fam. Need a solid gift idea for the spouse or a specific family member? Beaches Dermatology can ensure that your special someone gets a great gift that won't break the bank and won't go hidden in a drawer. Botox, skin treatments, you name it, they have it. Take care of that spouse of yours this holiday season with a gift from Beaches Dermatology. Call today or go online at beachesdermatology.com.
Sometimes you agree with him, sometimes you don't.
On the runway, I'm coming in hot.
CBS Sports senior NFL writer Pete Prisco joins the Frangie Show Friday afternoons on 1010XL. Brought to you by Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles.
What Baltimore Orioles player received a 22-minute standing ovation?
For over 20 years, Southern Oak Insurance has given Floridians a better alternative to their current homeowners policy. See what you can get with Southern Oak. Log on to southernoak.com.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
Cal Ripken holds the record of playing 2,632 consecutive games. On his final game, the Oriole great received a 22-minute standing ovation.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours.
WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Coach Campo here, and I just want to tell you about the best pizza I've had right here in Duval, and that's Tony D's Pizza. Tony works hard to make every slice perfect. If you love pizza like I do, you need to go to Tony D's, Bay Meadows and 295.
The best value for golf in Jacksonville remains Cimarron, totally reestablished with new tee boxes, improved fairways and greens, also a brand new restaurant with indoor and outdoor settings, and live music. Join the Wild One loyalty program online at Cimarron Golf. When's the last time you played Cimarron? Cimarron Golf Club on 210, the Wild One.
This is the home of the Florida Gators. Get your Gators hoops on 1010XL. Brought to you by the personal injury attorneys of Farah and Farah, Randy Marion Cadillac of Jacksonville, and Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors.
The best financial move you can make this time of year? How about lowering your mortgage rate to 4.99% fixed APR, the lowest rate in years? How about getting up to $500,000 out of your home equity in the process? You can do it now by calling Loan Pronto. Hey, it's Prosser here, and with Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan, you can get a ton of cash, pay off all those high-interest credit cards, and skip up to 2 house payments. One homeowner just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours. Wiped out their credit cards and 2 car loans, saved $2,100 a month. So don't wait. No hard credit pull up front, and you probably won't even need an appraisal. Just fast, easy cash from your home's equity. Act now. Call 904-999-1508 or go to loanpronto.com. Start the new year by wiping out your high-interest debt. 904-999-1508. And you can see how much cash you can get today. That's loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, APR for well-qualified buyers. Visit NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
I'm Max Fink with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update. The Florida Gators continue to reclaim some talented players to their squad after former Mandarin quarterback Tramell Jones Jr. announced he was re-signing with the team earlier on in the week. Star wide receiver Dallas Wilson also announced he was returning to the team, along with cornerback Cormani McCain. Gators basketball opens up SEC play Saturday at 8:30 versus Missouri, airing on 1010XL. It's 65 degrees at 5 o'clock time and temp, brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah.
It's a Big Chief Tire Friday on The Frangie Show. For all of your tires and automotive service needs, it's Big Chief Tire.
We certainly appreciate our friends at Big Chief Tire. Welcome back to The Frangie Show. Hayes Carline here with Hacker and JJ. We're going to have Pete Prisco joining us in our next segment to talk all things Jags and NFL as the regular season wraps up in just a few days. Hard to believe. Hacker, I think the Jaguars are going to go to the Super Bowl. As I look at the tournament, and I say this in just amazement, because this isn't like with my heart. I mean, looking at it objectively, looking at the 7 teams that I believe are going to be in the field, I don't know that they can win the Super Bowl, but I think that if I had to pick a team of the 7, I think I'd pick the Jaguars. Hot quarterback, hottest quarterback in the league. You lead the NFL in run defense. So the odds that you're going to get knocked out of the tournament because some team ran for 180 yards on you, very slim to none happening with what we've seen out of these Jaguars. And they're second in the league in takeaways. So look at the formula. Sizzling quarterback. They don't give up anything on the ground, and they take the ball away. If those 3 things continue over this next month, they're going to go to the Super Bowl.
It's hard to argue any of that. Now, look, I'll say this. 1999, I thought they were going to go to the Super Bowl. I was horribly disappointed. That's probably the last year until now I thought they had this good a shot. 05, they were a wild card. You have to win 3 road games. Wasn't going to happen. Good team, not going to win 3 road games. Same thing in 07. Now, in 07, they did win 1 road game. Obviously lost to New England the following week. 17, I think people were really excited. But again, that was Blake Bortles, man. That was Keelan Cole. I mean, no offense to those guys. That was Alan Hearns. I mean, you know, the offense was limited. And then 22.
And you had Doug Marrone as your head coach.
And you had Doug Marone as your head coach.
So as soon as you get a big lead in a AFC title game,
yeah,
he sits on it.
And you're gonna stop using Corey Grant. You're gonna stop using what got you there.
Here's what I can tell you: Liam Cohen is not sitting on a lead.
Agreed. I agree with that. And then in 22, I think, you know, looking back at 22, we were just happy to be there. I mean, they were 4-8. They went on that run to get to 9-8, and the Herbert win for the Jaguars coming back from 27 down was incredible. And the Chiefs' loss certainly stung, but I think we were all just happy to be there. This is the first time since 1999 for me that they have the best odds of getting to the Super Bowl. Are they going to get there? Well, we're going to see. And hopefully we have a lot to break down over the next 3 weeks. Because if we're still talking about it 3 weeks from now, that means they obviously have a shot to get there. But I will say that if you're in the Denver market, if you're in the New England market, if you're in the Houston market, you also are probably pretty lofty as far as your expectations based on no Mahomes, no Burrow, and even if Lamar gets in, he's a banged-up, injured Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, I mean, all great points. And those outposts, they should be confident as well. But, I mean, again, if you're looking at it from a Jaguars perspective, let's say you play Buffalo. Josh Allen, he's going to play. They're going to play. They've announced they're playing him in the finale. He is not healthy.
No.
Now, maybe he gets healthier between now and the wild card game, but he is not close to himself, right? He's still a good player because 70% of Josh Allen is still a good player in the NFL. But, you know, he is clearly laboring. They haven't stopped the run all year. So, I mean, and I would agree. I think Buffalo is probably the team I would say is the scariest. New England, it's just hard. I'm sorry, Drake May, maybe he wins the MVP. I don't like their weapons. Their offensive line has been sensational. They give Drake May a ton of time to throw the ball. But the Jaguars haven't really relied on sacks at all this season. I mean, the Jaguars are 30th in the league in terms of sack percentage defensively. So getting to Drake May is not how they're going to is not how they would draw it up to beat New England. It would be take the ball away, punch the ball out, and stop the run, with Henderson and Stevenson. Denver, I mean, put the tape on from 2 weeks ago or whenever it was. They've already gone to Mile High and embarrassed the Broncos. So as I look
also,
through
the Patriots have only beaten one team with a winning record.
Yeah, it's a great
They've
point.
played nobody.
Patriots schedule's bad. Now, again, if you go to Foxborough,
right,
you got to factor in weather
elements.
You got to factor in that. And the thing with Denver, look, Jacksonville embarrassed Denver. Denver was on that field, and they know what it was like to get embarrassed. If Jacksonville goes back there, don't think for 1 second they are not going to get Denver's absolute best shot at redemption, if you will. I mean, we talk about it's hard to beat a team twice. It's really hard to beat a team twice in their own stadium when you're the only team that has beat them in said stadium in the last year and a half. So I agree with everything that you're saying. I just think there are other things at play. And plus, too, I mean, it's like this with a lot of these coaches. How will Liam Cohen coach in the postseason? I mean, Sean Payton's got a Super Bowl ring. Mike Vrabel's had plenty of postseason experience. Sean McDermott, plenty of postseason experience. Will anything change with this Jaguar coaching staff, who, not by their own fault, it's because of their age and where they are in their careers, but none of these guys have coached in a playoff game until next weekend.
Yeah, it's a fair point. I'd be surprised if it ended up being a negative. I think Liam Cohen in this tournament, I think it's all systems go. I think he is going to be a real strength in all of these matchups.
I agree with you, by the way. I'm just throwing it out there for the sake of the argument.
It is absolutely worth mentioning.
Yeah.
Like, you can't say it about, well, Drake May's never done it, Bo Nix has never done it, and then be like, well, what about Liam Cohen? Liam Cohen's never done it as a head coach, but he's just been so phenomenal this year. It's hard to imagine him having that kind of Doug Marrone, moment where you basically have a game wrapped up and decide, for an entire second half that you're might as well just kneel on the ball 3 times and punt it and hope to get a win.
As long as we don't have Clete Blakeman as the official, too,
Yeah,
I'll be okay.
Right, that didn't help.
And keep Bon Jovi away from that stadium
Yes.
at all costs.
Absolutely, no doubt about it. Great points. When we come back, let's get Pete Prisco's side of things. Pete obviously covers the NFL as a whole for CBS Sports, but has been covering the Jaguars since their inception. As you guys know, we always look forward to Pete's insights on Friday. We'll ask Pete, how far can the Jaguars go? You're listening to The Frangie Show on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
The Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
He's got his trigger finger on the pulse of Jacksonville football.
Does he have a name?
He calls himself Mike DiRocco.
And we get his insight every Thursday from 10 to noon on Jaguars Today. Brightened by Lee at Kate's Glass on 1010XL.
This is Richard Miller with your Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles Update. A newer partnership has been Topps
with Zion card cases. Out this fall, the Zion cases come in a variety of sizes for graded and non-graded cards. An excellent way to protect and travel with your collection. Zion cases at Showtime, sports cards and collectibles. Update your collection.
Frank Frangie here for Stanley Pools. If you're dreaming of putting in a pool this year, choosing the right company is the most important decision you'll make. I've trusted Stanley Pools to build my pool, renovate my pool, and maintain my pool. Stanley Pools has been the best in the business since 1988, and they're still family-owned. Call them today at 904-269-7277 or find them online at stanleypoolsfl.com. That's Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools.
XL Primetime is back weekdays noon to 2, and on Wednesdays, join Dr. George Bari at 1:20 for the latest in sports injuries from all the big names in the game. Make sure you catch Dr. George Bari on XL Primetime Wednesdays at 1:20 on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Florida doesn't ease into the heat. It comes fast and it comes hard. And if your AC barely survived last summer, you're already on borrowed time. That's why Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning wants you to start the year off strong with a new AC system. Make the smart move before summer hits. Right now, get their lowest price of the year, $1,000 off a new AC system when you install by February 28th. Call now to schedule your free estimate and get ahead of the season. 904-862-6769 or duckduckrooter.com.
Former Russian political prisoner and Pulitzer Prize-winning journalist Vladimir Karamurza takes the stage at the Center for Performing Arts. Hear his powerful story of courage, imprisonment, and freedom February 3rd. Get your tickets now at thefloridaforum.com.
Hi, this is Dale Murray with Murray Automotive Group in Stark and Kingsland. Save yourself from those big city dealers and their fast-talking mumbo-jumbo. No matter what your automotive need is, we've got you covered. Ford, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, and nobody beats our prices. I mean nobody. Shazam! Plus our exclusive 15-year, 150,000-mile warranty included on every qualified vehicle. And we'll trade anything from high heels to wagon wheels. Compare our prices online at ShazamAuto.com. Then come see me, Dale Murray. I'll be waiting for you. Shazam!
Frank Frangie here for Coyle Fencing. Jacksonville is full of memorable sports moments. Just recently, Cam Little was good from 68 yards to set an NFL field goal record. You know who else goes the distance? The team at Coyle Fencing. Coyle is A-plus rated with the Better Business Bureau and has been serving the Jacksonville community for nearly 100 years. From sleek aluminum fencing your HOA will love to tough chain link for your commercial project. Coyle does it all. Visit CoyleJacks.com. That's C-O-Y-L-E Jacks.com. Coyle Fencing, partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Are you looking for a place to outfit your truck or van? It's Catlin Truck Accessories. For 105 years and 4 generations, Catlin is the name you can count on. This is Keith Catlin, and we know trucks and vans too, from Lear toppers, ladder racks, van shelving, strobe lighting, roll and lock bed covers, and everything in between. If you want quality products and great customer service, there's only one name. It's Catlin.
Who can you count on? Count on Catlin.
For 105 years, you can count on Catlin.
1010XL, presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch.
Time for all things Jaguars and NFL with Pete Prisco. The Prisco Report, presented by Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles.
Showtime.
On The Frangie Show.
We love our friends at Showtime. They do such an outstanding job. If you have never been there and you're a collector, you've got to go see what they have at Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles. You will have a ball. Welcome back to the Frangie Show. Frank on vacation. He'll be back on Monday. Hacker is here. JJ LaSelva is here. I am Hayes Carlin. Let's bring in Pete Prisco, our good friend. CBS Sports. Pete does an outstanding job covering the NFL and covering the Jaguars as well. Pete, Happy New Year. How you doing?
Good, guys. How are you?
We're doing great. Where do you see the Jaguars fitting in the 7-team AFC race? Are they the best team in this thing?
I mean, they could be. Look, when you look across the board, I said this the other day on my show with Austin and JP. If you look at every team in the AFC, flaws. Everybody has flaws, and by that I mean, take a look at the Broncos. Offensively, limited. We don't know if they can drive the ball down the field. The Chargers, we know the offensive line's a disaster. You can look across the board. The Texans' offense at times really bad, offensive line bad. Then you go to Jacksonville, and you say, okay, they don't do anything great. Like the Texans have a great defense. Jacksonville doesn't do anything great, but they don't do anything bad either. So from a balance standpoint, they might be the most balanced team of all of them. And they've proved they can go out and win on the road. If the 49ers win tomorrow night and the Broncos win, they will have gone on the road and beat the 2 number 1 seeds. I mean, so they know they can go out on the road and win games. So, yeah, they could go win it all. There's no question. This is the best year to be able to do that.
Pete, Liam Cohen inherited a team that went 5-18 in 23 games prior to his arrival. And in 1 year on the job with a win on Sunday, he will have more wins for this franchise in a single season than they've had in the 2000s, in the last 25-plus years. How did Liam Cohen do this? And it's shocking to me that the Jaguars, I believe, were the only team that actually interviewed him.
Well, Hacker, when you look at him, I think what he's done is, and again, we always look at these guys and we think we have an idea when they get a head coaching job, and we really don't. You don't know what they're going to be able to do when can they handle the room, can they get in front of the crowd, the whole deal. And he's done it all. He's been great with the media. He's been fantastic with his team. They get it. They understand what he wants. He knows when to push, when to pull, and he's a great play caller. Aside from a few gimmicky things and the jet sweep every other Tuesday, I think he's a great play caller. So you combine all that, and he gets it. And this is sustainable, by the way. That's what this is. This is sustainable success. You have a quarterback playing at an unreal level right now, and you have a head coach who can call plays and can lead the room. That's a great combination.
Pete, Hacker and I were talking about this earlier this week, but what's really stood out to me, I mean, many things, but maybe the primary thing with Liam Cohen and his staff is what they have done with the inherited guys that they had. I mean, you go down the list: Devin Lloyd, Parker Washington, Etienne, Ezra Cleveland, Anton Harrison, Van Lannen, Strange, Trevor obviously has to be thrown in there, Monteric Brown, Jarian Jones, Devon Hamilton, Armstead, Foye Oluokun, Antonio Johnson. These guys are all having good to exceptional seasons.
It's amazing when you consider where those guys have gone and where they are now. And I think a lot of that has to do with belief. They believe in it. And when you start believing in yourself, that's when you're going to have success. And that's the biggest difference. Look, Cole Van Lannen was a journeyman. He played every position on that line. He played other positions, other spots. And now he's the starting left tackle and playing really well. He's the best offensive lineman right now. So that tells you it's coaching. All we ever heard last year was, the offensive line is going to be good. Well, it never was. And I go back to coaching. I think coaching plays a big part of that. They're not, now they're well coached, and you can see that. It shows up every single game. And I think that's the biggest difference. Look, Cole Van Lannen going to get paid.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a given. This week, I will say I'm a little worried about, that right guard, Walker Little, against Jeffrey Simmons. That could be a problem.
Yeah, without a doubt. And really, no one's blocked Simmons. He has been remarkable. But kind of give us your initial thought of the matchup. What would be Tennessee's path to the upset, in your opinion?
Turnovers, fluky things, takeaways. Cam Ward hits a couple shots down the field. But aside from that, I mean, and this is the kind of game, Hayes, where you know this, where you got to get on them early and make it so you don't have to worry about it in the fourth quarter. Because all a team is going to do when you have them, in a situation where they're hanging around is start believing. And you don't want that. They're your rival. You want to kill them because that's a team that has taken away a lot of your heart and soul over the course of your history. So why not just plaster them by the third quarter, rest your best players, and get on to the playoffs? I think that's the way they ideally they'd like to be able to do that. Now, that's easier said than done. It's still the National Football League. That's not a great team, but it still is the NFL.
Pete Prisco, CBSSports.com. Pete, Jaguar fans here are wondering, all right, let me stress, if they do beat Tennessee, they're AFC South champions, what does that mean next week? To me, the most likely scenario, Houston beats a banged-up Indy team. They're the 5 seed. The Chargers are sitting Herbert and a bunch of their other guys, so it looks like they're going to be the 7. And if Buffalo beats the Jets, which are basically a high school team at this point, they're going to be the 6. So it looks like Buffalo potentially here on Wild Card Weekend. If that is the case, what would your thoughts be on that matchup?
It's the one you don't want to play. That's look, I've been around that team a lot. I've been around that quarterback a lot, and I've been around that front office and that coaching staff a lot. They're a good team. Now, are they good against the run? No. Are they great on defense? No. But when he gets going and he gets outside that pocket and creating, and he's the one Superman that's in the playoffs when it comes to the quarterback position, if Lamar Jackson doesn't get there, then that could be a problem for them. So I think, your ideal scenario would have been the Chargers at home. But, look, the bottom line is you're going to have to go beat good teams anyway. So if you got to beat Buffalo at home, go beat them. The problem with that, though, Hacker, is this. Half that place will be, or a quarter of it will be filled with Bills fans. You don't want that. If it's somebody else, it's not going to be that way. And so that's always the problem when you play the Bills, particularly in Florida. I mean, they come down to Miami. They take over the stadium. They take over, the elbow room right down the road from where I live over here. They pack it out. So that's the one thing when Buffalo is in the playoffs and they're playing at your place. You don't really want that.
Pete, let's look at some of the other games on the slate. Seattle at San Francisco Saturday night. Who do you like there?
I like the Niners. Look, I know the Niners defense stinks, and they're having problems stopping people. But when you break it down and look at it and you say, okay, in the end, am I going to go with Sam Darnold in the big game or am I going to go with hot Brock Purdy? I know where I'm going. I'm going with hot Brock Purdy. And so that's why I'm sitting there and I think you're looking at it and you go, okay, I'll take the 49ers in that spot.
Pete, the AFC North Championship game is Sunday night, and to the winner goes the playoffs, but the loser, maybe almost as big a story, would Tomlin or Harbaugh with a loss not return to their given team in 2026?
I think Harbaugh's back. Now, Tomlin could be in one of those situations where he wants to go do it on his own maybe and decide what he wants to do. He might go to them. He's got a contract coming up. He might go to them and say, look, I want to go somewhere else. But, this thing has run its course, and maybe they allow him to do that. But the reality is I think both will be back if they want to be back. And they'll get one more year, both of them. If they get one more year, then they'll go from there. But I do think both of them will be back.
Who do you like?
Unless Tomlin wants to go somewhere else, and I think that'll be his decision.
Who do you like in the game?
I get just a sneaky hunch it's going to be Pittsburgh. All that stuff going on with Baltimore, I wish Metcalf was there. It'd be an easier pick. But all that stuff going on with Lamar coming out and saying, they're saying Lamar is, one of those guys that's not working as hard and he has to dispute it. And then they get away from Henry at times and don't give him the ball. I mean, there's just so many things at play there that I think the Steelers and Rodgers will find a way with that defense. They'll probably run the ball pretty well. And the Ravens defense, by the way, hasn't been very good either. So I'm going to go with the Steelers at home.
Who do you like in Carolina at Tampa Bay?
That's a tough game. I think Tampa, again, guys who have been through it, guys who have, been to the playoffs and the Super Bowl, some of them, not a lot of them, but they've been to the playoffs and the Super Bowl. And, Baker Mayfield hasn't been playing well. I think he's hurt. He's been hurt for a long time. We thought he got hurt in the Rams game. I think he got hurt in the 49ers game. But you look at it, I think I'm going to go with the veteran team that knows how to win it. And then they got to hope like heck the Saints win on Sunday. I mean, as crazy as that is, we thought that might be a win and get in game, but the Rams kind of messed that up by losing to the Falcons, and now it's not quite that kind of game. So I would lean to the Bucs in that scenario.
Pete, why did we have a changing of the guard in 2025, particularly in the AFC? I mean, does it boil down to injuries? I mean, even before Mahomes got hurt, they weren't great in Kansas City. You look at what Jacksonville's done. Obviously, New England, Denver's going to have home field. Why was this the year that kind of the page turned, if you will?
Well, I think there some injuries. I mean, Mahomes got hurt, and that they weren't good before that, but they lost a lot of close games. And then they had, look, Rice's injury was a big part of it early in the season, and so they had the offensive line was banged up all year, so that was a problem. And then you go to so you take that team out, the quarterback out. Then you go to Joe Burrow, who you expect to, based on him being around and throwing the football around, you expect him to be around. Well, he got hurt too, out. Then you go to the Ravens, and Lamar in and out of lineup hurt, and they're so quarterback centric. And when he's not there, they're not the same team, so they're out. So you add it all up, and that's 3 of the marquee teams that aren't going to be playing. And I think that takes those teams out of the equation, and it gives everybody an opportunity. I mean, you look, some of the Texans and Broncos are really good on defense, and when you don't have those quarterbacks around playing at a high level, it makes it a lot easier to be a good defensive team and be able to carry that and run it through the playoffs. So I think it's a combination of things, but I think that's the big reason is the injuries to the marquee quarterbacks, and I think the good defensive teams and the well-rounded teams are taking advantage of that.
If you were an NFL owner looking for a head coach, would you pursue Kirk Cignetti, and do you think any NFL teams will?
I mean, they'll call. I think somebody will call on them. I don't know if that's necessarily where I would go. Just because a guy loads up on a bunch of transfers and gets the number one quarterback as a transfer, and all of a sudden you're in there. I mean, look, his center came from Notre Dame. He was a starter at Notre Dame. The quarterback came from Cal. The running back came from James Madison. I mean, it's a little different, than just putting together a team. He's proved to be a good coach. Don't get me wrong. And I think he'd probably be a good NFL coach. But the reality is he loaded up with a lot of portal transfers. I expect that to happen a lot going forward, by the way. I mean, I see these today. ASU might be trading the quarterback with Kentucky's quarterback. One might be going – Levitt might be going to Kentucky, and Kentucky's quarterback might be going to ASU. It's crazy. College football is a disaster right now, and I think fans will get tired of this whole portal situation. I think they're going to have to get to a situation where if I pay you $4.5 million, I'm locking you in for 2 years at least. You're staying here. You're not going to be able to move. It's not like – make it like some kind of free agency in the NFL where if I give you $4.5 million, you're not going somewhere else to peddle your services. You're going to lock in for a couple of years. Then you can go if you want to.
Final moments, Pete Prisco, CBSSports.com. I agree with you. The portal and everything going on right now, I do think fans are going to get sick of it sooner rather than later. Pete, leave us with this, man. The coaching carousel will kick off on Black Monday. A lot of coaches will be shown the door. Anthony Campanile, how active will his market be in the coaching carousel around the league?
I think he's going to get a couple interviews. I think once he gets in the door, he's going to be one of those guys that wows some owners. And if he does, then he can have a chance to get a job. And people say he's only been a coordinator for 1 year. There's been guys in the past that have been coordinators for 1 year that got jobs and ended up being pretty good coaches. And if I'm not mistaken, Tomlin was only a 1 year coordinator. So, look, Campanelli's a good coach. He's done a great job. For the Jaguars' sake, they better hope they don't lose him. But he's going to be in the mix for sure. And, I think Udinski's going to be in the mix too, by the way. I think he's going to get some interviews. There's a real limited number of offensive minds out there, and why not bring those guys in and pick their brains? If I was a general manager / owner interviewing for coaching candidates, I'd bring so many guys in and pick their brains, every single one of them. Who do you like as your coaching staff? Show me your tree. Why do you like him as your coordinator? Why do you like him? And then if you don't get the job, if he doesn't get the job, then you have more guys to give the consideration if you're going to hire. I'd interview 10 to 12 people just to pick their brains, and maybe 5 of them would be good. Maybe one of them you didn't think would be good will wow you, and then you hire your head coach. I think that's the process that I would do, and I think the Jaguars did a little bit of that last year, by the way.
Yeah, I think it's a great point. Pete, do you think it's easy for the Jags on Sunday?
I mean, no, but in the third quarter, they'll pull away. It's the Titans. History, man. There's some bad history there. You guys, please tell me that nobody's starting to play that dumb uh-oh song again.
Yeah. Maybe on XL Prime.
Well, they do have Leon doing the opening Duval on Sunday, and he was one of the main guys in that song, wasn't he?
Absolutely.
He did, yeah. You can look, when in doubt, you can always blame Leon. Just tell him I said that. Right?
All right, great stuff. Pete, we certainly appreciate it. Have fun covering the games this weekend. We'll look forward to talking with you next Friday.
By the way, I think 4:30 next Saturday, that's the window for the AFC South champion.
That's usually it. Yeah.
Even if it's Buffalo, we're thinking maybe prime time for Josh Allen, Trevor Lawrence.
I don't. Yeah, but they put Buffalo on, and against the Texans at 4:30. Let's put it this way: if it's Texans and Steelers, they're not going to take the Steelers and put them at 4:30. I don't think. I think the first game on Saturday might be a CBS game, so we'll see. Maybe that will end up being being different. But look, you know the history of that. They always put the AFC South champion at 4:30 on Saturday.
Yeah, absolutely. It'll be fun. It's just wonderful that they're playing that weekend. Who would have seen that coming? Certainly with a chance to get to 13 and 4.
Go win the damn thing. It's possible.
Absolutely. And like you said, they probably have the fewest glaring weaknesses of anybody on that side of the draw in the AFC. So, Pete, great stuff. We certainly appreciate it. Have a great weekend.
All right, guys, take care.
All right, we certainly appreciate Pete. And again, Showtime does such a great job. Go see them for all your sports cards and memorabilia. When we come back on the Frangie Show, let's talk a little bit about what Hacker believes we will see with Carolina, Tampa Bay, Seattle, San Francisco, and Ravens, Steelers. We will do that next. You're listening to the Frangie Show on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
The Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
The 1010XL Sports Network delivers podcasts, video, and exclusive content across every platform. Jacksonville Sports reimagined at 1010XL.
Frank Frangie here for my friend and insurance agent Craig Dewhurst. Craig has been helping families on the First Coast with their insurance needs for 25 years, is your good neighbor and local State Farm agent. Now's a great time to review your insurance policies, whether you need auto, homeowners, or renter's insurance, or insurance for your golf cart, boat, or jet skis. Craig handles all of my family's insurance needs, and even better, he gives back to the community. Call Craig today at 904-940-9740. That's 904-940-9740.
Hey guys, if you messed up by getting her a robot vacuum cleaner for Christmas, Beard's Diamonds can get you out of the doghouse. Now through New Year's weekend, you can still get that stunning piece of jewelry and save up to 44%. Everything's included: rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, bands, all the gifts women love every day of the year. But hurry, this amazingly popular offer ends January 3rd at 5 p.m. and will not be extended. And if you're planning that New Year's weekend proposal, we've got you covered with a great selection of ready-to-wear diamond rings starting as low as $795. It's been a fantastic year at Beard's, and we're so grateful for your business and your trust. In a sea of mega corporate chain jewelers, we're honored to be the only one that's locally owned in the town center. We are proud to be a part of this amazing community, and you can count on us again in 2026 to deliver the highest quality jewelry at the guaranteed best value, with the service and attention you can only get from an independent jeweler that's been around nearly 45 years. Happy New Year from Beard's Diamonds.
This holiday season, let Bono's Catering do the cooking so you can enjoy more time with family and friends. Frank Frangie here. Bono's has been serving Jacksonville's best barbecue for 75 years. Holiday catering's available with full smoked turkeys, country hams, and all the fixings. Be sure to order online at bonosbarbecue.com or call 904-332-7427. Plus, you could give the gift of Bono's Barbecue. Buy a $25 gift card and get an additional $5 gift card in store or online. Remember, if you don't see a pit, it ain't legit.
Bring your marketing to the next level with 3D Digital, your local video production and digital marketing agency that specializes in ensuring your brand story is seen, heard, and remembered. Our award-winning team creates professional content that will be launched across multiple platforms to precisely target your audience. Visit 3ddigital.com to define, design, and deliver exceptional results for your business.
The best financial move you can make this time of year? How about lowering your mortgage rate to 4.99% fixed APR, the lowest rate in years? How about getting up to $500,000 out of your home equity in the process? You can do it now by calling Loan Pronto. Hey, it's Prosser here, and with Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan, you can get a ton of cash, pay off all those high-interest credit cards, and skip up to 2 house payments. One homeowner just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours. Wiped out their credit cards and 2 car loans, saved $2,100 a month. So don't wait. No hard credit pull up front, and you probably won't even need an appraisal. Just fast, easy cash from your home's equity. Act now. Call 904-999-1508 or go to loanpronto.com. Start the new year by wiping out your high-interest debt. 904-999-1508. And you can see how much cash you can get today. That's loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, APR for well-qualified buyers. Visit NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
It's the Jaguars' final home game of the 2025 regular season, and you don't want to miss it. Join us for our fan appreciation game as the Jaguars face off against the Tennessee Titans in a can't-miss division matchup. It's your chance to cheer on the team as they take the field in their Prowler throwbacks for one last time this season. Secure your seats now and be a part of the action. Go to Jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Now, the Monahan's golden moment. Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach, your local family jewelers.
All right, today's golden moment is we had a chance to go inside the locker room and hear from Jacoby Myers and Cole Van Lanen, two really exceptional offensive players for this Jaguars team, and I think they're going to be around for a while. We know Myers is, and I think Van Lanen's a top priority.
Obviously, when we were at training camp in August, you thought to yourself, yeah, week 18, I'm going to do interviews with Cole Van Lanen and Jacoby Myers, who wasn't even here at the time, and they're going to be vital parts of this Jaguar 12-4 run. That speaks to your point. Under-the-radar guys that have emerged and have helped this team get to where they are.
It's really been amazing, and so it's been a lot of fun on the Frangie Show. Pete Prisco, he was great as always in our last segment as well. Do you agree with him? Because I do. I mean, the Jaguars to me are the most complete team in the AFC. And Pete was like, they don't do necessarily anything great, but they just don't have any glaring weaknesses. I would say they've got the hottest quarterback in the NFL. They have the best run defense in the NFL. And they're second in the league in takeaways. That's a pretty good formula historically to winning in the tournament.
No, there's no doubt. And like we said earlier, because I'm in Jacksonville, I feel a little weird saying this, but if you were to ask me to look at the 7 teams in the AFC, who would I not want to play? I wouldn't want to play Jacksonville. And I think the Chargers have gotten that message because the Chargers are basically trying to lose on Sunday to, I think, avoid playing Jacksonville. The Chargers rather go to Foxborough in January than come here to play the Jacksonville Jaguars. So, yeah, I think the Jaguars are probably the hottest team and certainly the one that I would not want to play.
Who do you guys like? Obviously, we're not doing picks with Frank not here. By the way, I think it's pretty gotten tight.
I've gotten destroyed.
Yeah, I think
I'm getting smoked. Right now.
I think you're still in the lead, but it's much closer. It'll be fun when Frank gets back and we tabulate it up. So these picks are obviously just for fun. But who do you guys like in Seattle at San Fran?
Boy, that's a really good game, and the winner gets home field. I mean, it's hard to go against San Francisco with the way they've played, despite all the injuries. They're at home. I think that's going to be a great game. I'll take San Francisco.
I would take San Francisco, too, even though they have 0 pass rush. Their defense is a bunch of guys you've never heard of. But, I mean, the quarterback play from Brock Purdy the last few weeks has been phenomenal. So I'd go with San Francisco at home.
I agree. I'm going 49ers as well. Brock Purdy won me the 1010XL Dynasty League. So,
nice.
So he is like a son to me for the rest of his life. Yeah. I'm going with,
very nice.
I'm going with the 49ers. JJ brings up a great point. I don't think San Francisco has a great defense at all, not having Warner and Bosa. But I just think this is the time of year where Sam Darnold kind of, falls apart. And I do worry if Seattle's offense is versatile enough. Jackson Smith and Jigba has been phenomenal. He might be Offensive Player of the Year, and it would be well-deserved. But it doesn't feel like there's enough of other things that if that gets taken away, which I get, it would be very difficult. But if, for whatever reason, Darnold and JSN have a game where they're not in sync, I'm curious to see how Seattle would be able to beat, another very good team in that situation.
A team that can score a lot.
Yeah.
Kyle Shanahan's done a ridiculous job amid all those injuries out there.
He's one of the best coaches in the NFL.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, without a doubt.
Oh, yeah.
And let's look at the first game tomorrow, Carolina at Tampa Bay. It's amazing to me, that Carolina's had the success they've had. I thought they'd win like 4 games this year. Also amazing how Tampa Bay has just fallen apart, but I'm still going to go Buccaneers here. What do you think?
It's amazing to me that ESPN and ABC put this game on a network on Saturday because they thought it was a winner gets in game, and that's actually not the scenario tomorrow. Carolina is win and get in. If Tampa wins, well, Carolina still might get in, depending on what happens with the Falcons and the Saints on Sunday. It's hard to go against Carolina because Tampa Bay has looked so bad. Now, if Tampa Bay decides to play football, they're going to win the game tomorrow. But based on the last month, how can you trust Baker Mayfield? He's obviously not healthy. The funny thing is the Buccaneers got worse as they got healthier, which is something that you did not expect to see happen. So based on the way Tampa has looked, which has been putrid at times, I'll probably go Carolina tomorrow.
JJ, who do you like?
Tampa is like 0-9 in their last 9 games against the spread. So they're just like not only losing, they're getting killed in some of these games. They've had so many winnable games that they haven't won. And I'm dumb, and I'm still going to roll with Tampa in this game. Just because I saw that second half from Carolina against Seattle, and they looked miserable too. So it's just, I'll go with the home team.
By the way, ask a Buccaneer fan how they feel about Todd Bowles.
Oh my God.
And how they feel about Liam Cohen being here now. That is not a good topic with Tampa Bay fans.
It just shows that the front office last year knew what they were doing when they didn't want to let Liam just go. They knew that this guy was good.
Without a doubt. JJ, who do you like in Ravens at Steelers?
I like the Ravens. I think the Steelers suck. I still don't know how they freaking do this every year, especially this year. Some of the games you watch on offense, you're just like, how are they putting up any points whatsoever? Another terrible game against the Browns last week. I'm going with the Ravens, even though this is not the best Ravens team.
I'm going to take the Ravens as well. Who do you like?
Man, I'm going out on a limb here against you guys. I'm going to go Pittsburgh at home because they get
I wouldn't be shocked.
TJ Watt comes back. I think that'll be an emotional lift for them. I would love DK Metcalf to be in this game if you didn't want to fight a fan. It's a win or go home situation, and their prized
perfect timing.
Off-season edition is not there.
Should I not have done that? Was that wrong?
So, but I'll go Pittsburgh and what I hope is a very, very good competitive game into the fourth quarter.
All right, great stuff. One more segment coming up on the Frangie Show. We will hear from Hacker what he has coming up on Hacker After Dark, and we will bring in Rick Ballou as well to hear what is coming up on Into the Night. And we'll do a thought about Florida basketball. That is up next. You're listening to 1010XL 92.5 FM.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Live streaming from the XL Digital Studios. Brightened by Harbor Dental Care, Jacksonville's first choice for dental emergencies.
This is Brent Musburger's Visa in Action update on 1010XL. Brought to you by Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning. When you're stuck, call the Duck. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
The college football semifinals are now set. On Thursday of next week, the Fiesta Bowl in Arizona will pit Ole Miss against Miami as the Rebels beat Georgia in the Sugar Bowl, and Miami took down Ohio State at the Cotton Bowl. The Hurricanes a 2.5-point favorite, minus 152, Rebels plus 126, and the over-under at 51.5. While the Peach Bowl in Atlanta will pit top-seeded Indiana against the Oregon Ducks. That game will be on Friday of next week. The Hoosiers beat Alabama in the Rose Bowl. Oregon shut out Texas Tech in the Orange Bowl. The Hoosiers a 4.5-point favorite, minus 194. The Ducks plus 160, over under 46.5.
Progressive helping veterans drive their lives forward. More info, keysofprogress.com. I'm Tony Desiri with your Visa in Action update on 1010XL.
It's January. You turn on the hot water, expecting steam, and you get let down. That's usually a sign your tankless water heater is loaded with mineral buildup, slowing it down and wearing it out before it's time. So Duck Duck Rooter is kicking the new year off strong with a Start Fresh Tankless Flush. Their experienced technicians flush and clean your tankless system, restoring performance and getting you back in the game. Right now, get your tankless water heater flushed and cleaned for just $99, 904-862-6769 or duckduckrooter.com.
Hey, Jacksonville DDH. Dreamfinders Danny Hicken here with the scoop from Dreamfinders Homes, your National Builder of the Year. We've got first-year interest rates as low as 2.99% in homes in 20-plus communities throughout Northeast Florida. If you're house hunting, make sure your first pick Dreamfinders Homes, the proud official home builder of the PGA Tour, the Florida Gators, and your Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit dfhsalesevent.com today and tell them Dreamfinders Danny sent you.
Transmission troubles? I'm Robin Sidbury, owner of Action Transmission Specialist on Merrill Road. So come in and see how we can help solve your transmission troubles. We service all makes and models. Remember, get traction. Call Action at 744-0755.
There's lots of reasons to use Kuhn Flowers when you need to send floral arrangements. This is RJ with 1010XL. No matter what the reason or the occasion, Kuhn Flowers delivers with only the best. Log on to kuhnflowers.com and make someone's day.
Are you ready to reclaim your backyard? Serving Northeast Florida since 1977, Surfside Pools is the trusted name for expert pool design. Family owned and operated, they offer pool service, equipment repairs, commercial maintenance, remodels, and new pool construction. Let Surfside Pools transform your backyard into the oasis that you crave. Are you ready to float happy? Visit surfsidepools.net or call 246-2666. Surfside Pools and Spas, where luxury meets leisure.
License number CPC 044080.
At the First Coast YMCA, you'll find much more than just a gym. We offer many ways to help you become more active, reach your weight loss goals, and find your inner strength. Membership at the Y includes state-of-the-art facilities, a huge variety of fitness classes, and programs for all ages. It's easy to join the Y since it's affordable for all incomes. The Y is a great place to make connections and experience something new. Visit the YMCA near you or online at fcymca.org.
Your home deserves more than just another coat of paint. It deserves quality that lasts. At First Coast Paint, you'll find premium Benjamin Moore products, trusted advice, and the local experts who help you get it right the first time. Whether it's your living room, your porch, or your whole house, First Coast Paint brings your paint project to life. Stores in St. John's and St. Augustine. One name Jacksonville trusts. Mention 1010XL for 10% off. First Coast Paint. Simply superior paint.
For over 55 years, Green Acres Sporting Goods has proudly served Jacksonville from the corner of Normandy and Hammond Boulevard. From archery to hunting and fishing, they've got the gear, service, and know-how to get you outdoor ready. Stop by their full-service archery pro shop and check out their wide selection of firearms. And while you're there, sign up for their weekly concealed weapon classes. You can find it all at greenacresporting.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah.
It's a Big Chief Tire Friday on The Frangie Show. For all of your tires and automotive service needs, it's Big Chief Tire.
Welcome back to the Frangie Show. One more segment here for us. Hacker, it's been so much fun having you here all week. Really have enjoyed it. Thank you so much for doing it.
Man, anytime. Really appreciate being on with you.
It's been a lot of fun. What's coming up next on Hacker After Dark?
Yeah, Hacker After Dark tonight following Rick Ballou inside the Jaguar locker room. I went one-on-one with defensive lineman Matt Dickerson, who really is one of the better stories on the team. A guy that Jaguar fans had no idea who he was. He was a journeyman on the practice squad, and now he's essentially a starter on the defensive line. So I got Matt Dickerson one-on-one, also former Jaguar wide receiver Cecil Shorts, and a lot more, 8 to 10 tonight on Hacker After Dark.
That is fantastic. Do you think Florida starts 1-0 in SEC play? They play Missouri tomorrow night.
8:30 on the SEC Network. I'll be watching. I'll be fired up for it. Look, Florida, it'd be nice to actually win a game that is against a team of substance, right? Every team they've played, they've been in the games. Duke, Arizona, obviously UConn, but they found ways to lose with, 2 minutes or so to go. I would think Florida gets off to the right foot on the conference slate. I think they go into Missouri, a decent Missouri team, albeit an unranked Missouri team, and I expect Florida to get a road W tomorrow night.
I would think so too. I do think Xavier Lee has figured it out. They're still not doing a great job shooting, but I think that will come, and the rebounding and rim protection is just so phenomenal for Florida. So I like the Gators to get to 1-0 on the SEC slate. Let's now welcome in Rick Ballou.
Now, the 2-minute drill is driven by nobody but Nimnicht. Nimnicht Chevrolet on Cassett Avenue and Nimnicht Buick GMC on Phillips Highway.
How you doing? How you feeling
Good.
about Sunday's game?
Oh, I feel real good.
Yeah?
Yeah. I think it's a Nick Mullins fourth quarter.
Okay. How many touchdowns do you think rushing, passing for Trevor?
I know he's one away from the record. I think he'll get at least 2. I see 4 touchdowns and a field goal. I got a 31-17 victory. Again, not really going out on much of a limb. Jacksonville during this 7-game winning streak is averaging more than 32 points a game, and they're allowing just a smidge over 15 points a game. So I kind of played the law of the averages here. And, the biggest concern that I think everyone should have is just getting out of there without, a significant injury.
If they can do that, do you like their chances to get hot in the tournament?
I really do. And I do. And you know what? I I actually believe they were better this year on the road than at home. I mean, you win in Denver, you win in San Francisco. They got screwed out of a call by Travis Hunter in Cincinnati. They still put up 29 points at Houston with that outstanding defense. They put up 29 and just totally choked and blew a 19-point lead. So London is technically, even though it's like 50,000 miles away, it's technically a home game. I'm going to say the Jaguars were a better road team this year. And people have asked me, wouldn't you rather go to New England or Denver or somewhere else and host Buffalo? That just seems to be a real tricky out here. But if you were to ask anyone at the Miller Electric Center, they'd say, hell no, give me a home game.
Yeah, without a doubt. What's coming up?
All that tonight, everything that's happened, including just the incredible day in college football. I still cannot believe what we watched last night. What a story here for Mississippi. No one has been harder on Mississippi. I have said it time and again and time and again. Schools like schools like Mississippi don't win national titles. And they're in a position right now that they could do it, pulling off when Frieder left Michigan to Arizona State and Steve Swisher came in, won 6 straight games when they knocked off Seton Hall to win the national championship, I believe, in 1989.
Yep.
Was when that happened. And this could be the same deal here now for Mississippi. We'll see.
Absolutely. We'll be listening. Thanks so much, Rick. All right, that's going to do it for us. Again, Frank Frangie will be back on Monday. Hacker, thank you so much for sitting in with us. It's been a lot of fun, and have a great weekend.
Hayes, enjoyed it, buddy.
Yeah, absolutely. For JJ LaSelva, I am Hayes Carline. Stay tuned. Into the Night with Rick Ballou is up next. You're listening to 1010XL 92.5 FM.